This module in the NAU International Online Orientation is about how to be successful in the U.S. classroom. Specifically, this module will talk about classroom expectations, expectations outside the classroom, and academic integrity. This module will help you understand what is expected of you in the U.S. classroom, as well as what to do and what to avoid in order to be successful. Always remember to attend class. You should attend all your classes throughout the semester, and you should always be on time. Attendance ensures that you are familiar with the course materials and participating in class discussions. Instructors also often give a grade for attending class. Be very familiar with each class attendance policy and follow it. Professors usually expect you to attend every class session. If you miss a class session that is for a test or a due date, professors usually will not let you make things up. Make sure you read each class's syllabus. A syllabus is your course outline for the semester. Make sure you read and become familiar with the class's expectations so you will know when your assignments are due and what will be expected of you. Remember that professors can also change their syllabi during the semester and cannot be held accountable if you do not pay attention to changing syllabi. Remember, your F1 or J1 status in the U.S. requires you to be academically successful, so you need to do whatever you can do to ensure that you do well in your classes. In the U.S. classroom, some professors might lecture, while others might lead discussions. During a class discussion, you are expected to participate in discussion with your classmates and your professor. Do not stay silent. Make sure to offer your own perspectives and add to the conversation. Always make sure to be prepared to discuss the current topic. You might be called on, and not knowing the material will slow down the conversation and show that you are not prepared. Different types of assignments will depend on the class. Some classes will assign problems, essays, or reading, while some might require you to participate in online discussions or watch films. It is common to have regular graded homework in addition to tests or essays. Many classes will have many homework assignments that accumulate points over the semester. In the U.S., it's expected that students ask questions and offer comments on course material. The students are expected to help bring new perspectives and ideas to the course material. If you want to ask a question or offer a comment, raise your hand and the professor will call on you to speak. Speaking outside of having raised your hand is usually considered impolite. But if other students are not raising their hands to speak, and the professor doesn't seem bothered, you can usually speak without raising your hand. However, side conversations are never polite. Do not talk to another classmate unless you have been told to by the teacher. Having casual conversations with your classmates while the class is being taught is considered very rude and distracting. Do not use your cell phone in the classroom. It should be turned off in class. This includes going on the internet and sending text messages. Do not sleep in class ever. If you are very tired, try getting a tea or coffee before class, as long as it will not make you late. Make sure to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night. Do not leave in the middle of class except to use the restroom. If you leave to use the restroom, leave quickly and quietly and return to the class as soon as possible. Otherwise, you are expected to attend the entirety of every class you go to. Do not eat food in class. Eating food in class is considered rude and disruptive. Make sure that when you plan your class schedules, you give yourself enough time for lunch or a quick snack between your classes. Make sure to pay attention to the instructor at all times and take notes during class. You should treat your professors with respect. Respect your professors' deadlines. Do not negotiate for more time if you forget assignments. Make sure you have all your assignments done on time. This is your responsibility, not your professors. It is important to know your professors at NAU. Knowing your instructors can help you understand class material and become more engaged in the class. For your instructor to know you directly is just as important. Meet with your instructor during office hours with any questions or a problem. Instructors are usually very happy to help explain material again if you make an appointment with them. If you are absent, be sure to contact your instructor. If at all possible, contact your instructor before class so they will know you will not be there. Never assume that an instructor owes you the class material for the day of the class you missed. It is your responsibility to get the class materials when you miss a day of class. Make a good impression by being in class, being on time, being attentive, and being involved. Your instructors are good contacts to have throughout your life. You also might have the same instructor for more classes in the future. If you need help in class, use campus resources, such as tutoring, for extra assistance. Don't be embarrassed to ask for help. Asking is always better than doing poorly. Don't wait until the end of the semester to get help. It might be too late to raise your grade. Ask for help as soon as you realize you don't understand something. The United States has specific social norms regarding email. When emailing students or instructors, it is impolite to demand actions. You should email students and professors in a polite tone, asking them for help and then thanking them for your time. Always include your name, NAU ID, and class when emailing an instructor. Most instructors have over 100 students, so they may not likely remember you by name alone. Allow time for people to respond. Do not email instructors 3 times a day. Both instructors and your peers are likely very busy and will email you back as soon as they can. If it is an emergency, please call the department. Finally, it is very important to use your official NAU email address in any communications with NAU staff and faculty. In regard to appointments, you may need to make appointments for certain important tasks like academic or immigration advising. Be sure to follow each office's procedure to make an appointment, and be sure to keep your appointments. If you need to cancel an appointment or are delayed, contact the office. Be familiar with classroom expectations. This will help you transition into the U.S. style of teaching and learning. U.S. classroom expectations are likely to be very different from what you are accustomed to in your home country. Make sure you understand how to write a U.S. university college paper. And always make sure you edit your work. Be familiar with Blackboard Learn, BB Learn, LUI, and the library. These resources will be helpful and sometimes mandatory with your classwork during your stay at NAU. With BB Learn, you can access your classes where you might have to submit quizzes, tests, or homework. BB Learn is also where you do the coursework for any online classes you take. You can get to BB Learn from the main NAU page. You can also access LUI on the main NAU page. On LUI, you can see your class schedule and pay your fees. Important updates on LUI are your responsibility to do. You must be able to use LUI to take care of these responsibilities. The library on campus and online are there to help you read more and research topics for your classes. The libraries on campus can help you locate books, and you can use the library's search engine to find online articles. Make sure to meet your advisor at least once a semester. Advisors can help you keep track of and plan your schedules and academics while at NAU. Academic integrity is a very important issue. Make sure to follow the NAU Code of Conduct at all times. Following the NAU Code of Conduct can help you stay successful at NAU, as well as keeping you from actions that might put your academic and immigration status in jeopardy. Attending NAU is not a right, it is a privilege. It can be taken away. Remember that your immigration status can be terminated if you are ineligible to continue at NAU for not complying with NAU Code of Conduct or for any other reason. All students are subject to the rules and regulations at NAU. American students and international students are held to the same standards with NAU's rules and regulations. Rules and regulations are different here than in your country. Remember that just because something is okay in your home country does not mean it's okay here in the United States. Make sure you are familiar with the rules and regulations at NAU at all times and abide by all NAU and U.S. rules and regulations. Doing so will help make sure that your academic and immigration status stays in good standing. Academic dishonesty is one of several types of actions that are not allowed at NAU and can lead to serious negative consequences for the student. Plagiarism is the adoption or reproduction of original creations of another author, person, collective, organization, community, or other type of author, including anonymous authors, without due acknowledgement. Fabrication is making false claims in any formal academic work. Basically, fabrication is making up a fact. Deception is providing false information to an instructor regarding work. For instance, saying, "My dog ate my homework." Cheating is attempting to have false advantage in any academic exercise. For instance, having copies of an answer sheet with you during a test or copying someone else's answers during a test. Bribery is paying for any help regarding academic exercises. Paying someone for help is never acceptable with academics unless you are paying for a tutor, and a tutor can only help you with course material, not do the actual work for you. Sabotage is acting to prevent another student from completing their work. For instance, damaging an experiment of another student's work in a science lab class. Impersonation is assuming student identity of another to complete work. Make sure you do not behave with academic dishonesty. Consequences could include failing a class or even being expelled from NAU. You cannot have a friend do your work or copy off of a friend, even if that friend is done with the class. All of your work must be your own. Plagiarism is a serious offense, and students can be expelled for plagiarism. Your writing must be original, and when using sources, those sources must be cited correctly. If you don't know how to cite a source, check with the NAU Writing Center. Check with professors for what format they want you to cite in. There are various formats to use in essays, and different teachers might prefer different formats. Working with other students is an important part of the U.S. classroom experience. Sometimes group work is assigned, and you will be working on a project with one or more other students. However, students are expected in all other situations to do their own work. That means no copying other students' work, no working together on the same assignment, and no helping each other. Do not work with other students unless the professor specifically says it's okay to work with other students. During group projects, expect to do your own work while your peers do theirs. Working in a group does not mean copying off each other. No means no. Do not try to bargain for or negotiate a grade or class result. This is not something practiced in the U.S. Negotiating for grades is seen as very rude. If you want a certain grade, it is expected that you work hard during the semester to get that grade. Every student is expected to follow all class and university rules and policies. Make sure you are aware of NAU's rules and policies to keep within them at all times. Thank you for your attention. Our best wishes for a successful adjustment and experience here at NAU and in the U.S. We're very glad you're here. Remember, complete your online orientation on BB Learn, including all modules and quizzes, so you can sign up for future classes.